So we have to start this by talking about language in general, just an overview of language. So Western history, which is narrative nonfiction, describes language as the pinnacle achievement of humanity, like the thing, the instrument that was that came about that differentiated us from the apes. You know, the story is that we used to be apes, and then something happened and we got really smart, and then language happened, and language is the reason we are so great. Language is wonderful. Now that story is fine, and it's partially true, probably, but we can talk about that later. The point, though, is that language is not it. This is hard to hear if you're a chatterbox, and everyone's a chatterbox, actually. Even introverts who don't speak outside their face much are speaking inside their face quite a lot. Language is not it. Language is not the highest form of consciousness. So we need to find, since we're using language right here on this video, we need to find some common terms. So desire. Desire is electricity. Let me start with that. Let's call desire an urge. Let's call desire an impulse. Let's call desire a visceral, I want this, I will do that. It's electricity. It's fundamental to humanity and fundamental to other creatures as well. I'm breathing, it's completely unconscious, but there's electricity involved. There's, in some really, really fundamental sense, a desire. I want this. I want to breathe in, and then I want to breathe out. The desire is fundamental to our existence. So is electricity. The nervous system, even in plants, there's electricity everywhere. This is fundamental. So can we agree that desire is electricity? Is an urge? Good. Okay, so we agree that desire is the electrical impulse, the urge to do something, to say something, take a breath, to drink some chai, this sort of thing. That's what a desire is. So then what about goals? What about a sentence that I could utter like, I really want to have 50 people come to my yoga class on a regular basis? What's that? So that's not really an urge, that's a sentence, isn't it? It's a sentence with presuppositions and assumptions. It's built on desire because everything is built on desire. Everything is built on desire. Every sentence you ever utter, every sentence you ever take 4 years to formulate and develop is built on desire. Every thought you think is built on desire. So when you find yourself with a sentence that you've taken time to craft, you can say it's a desire, but that's not really true. It's more like a goal built on some period of time, fueled by desire, affected by beliefs and thoughts, ideas, input from others, attempts to make it happen, failures and successes, all leading you to a sentence. I want 50 people to come to my yoga class on a regular basis. It's not a desire, really, not in that electrical urge sense. It's more like a stated goal. So then how does this work with regard to some spiritual people or schools say that desire is bad, or desire is the cause of suffering? So many spiritual schools say this. And it's a really, really simple mistake. It's a simple mistake, and it's so widespread, it's staggering. It comes down to language though, right? Desire is electricity, desire is an urge. If you do not have desire, you will not take a breath, and you will not drink a chai, and you will do fucking nothing, you will die. So what do they mean when they say desire is bad? Desire should be modified, squished, suppressed, changed, this sort of thing. They're really talking about what you do with desire, what you do with your energy. The way that you live your life should be managed and regulated so that it's good. It's really, really simple, isn't it? It's really freaking obvious. Yeah, you need to manage your life so that your life is good. It's not that desire is bad. Desire is good. It's so simplistic. Well, it makes me think of, cartoon cavemen. Ugh, ugh, ugh. I want something, and me wanting it makes me sad. Therefore, wanting things is bad. It's really simplistic. To make that conclusion is insane. If you interpret your desires through beliefs, experiences, social rules that are sticky, dirty, and promote a sense of scarcity, inequity, guilt and fear, yeah, well then I can see how you would have a bad time. But it's not that desire that caused the bad time. It's the conditioning, the beliefs, the assumptions. The desire is always good. The desire is the only thing keeping you alive. So where do we go from here? The main thing to understand, to really get your head around, is that language is not the pinnacle of human development. In fact, it's the bottom. And that's contrary to that modern Western anthropological story that I mentioned at the start. Language is the dross. It's the material manifestation of higher energies. It's the lowest form. It's the last resort. The more you stop using language, the more you take breaks from it, micro breaks in your day and bigger breaks during meditation. The more you do that, the more you habitualize the cessation of sentences in your head and sentences outside of your head. The more you become subtle, realize the forms that are constructing reality around you. They come in the form of images rather than sentences. They come in the form of very, very rich and rapid scenes and quite elaborate ideas. So this is the perennial teaching of yoga. This should be familiar to everyone that's seeing this video. Stop the thoughts. Not so that you can enter some kind of void of nothingness and emptiness, but stop the thoughts so that you can see the things that create the thoughts. So you can see the images coming through. They come through so quickly. They are always there too. There are always amazing, rich and interesting, exciting answers to all of your questions. But they do not come in sentences usually. They come in flashes of insight. They are always there. 99% of you is flashes of insight. You just tend to be so associated with this physical body and its physical language that you miss it. You miss it all. Anywho, that's enough. Suffice to say that telling someone desire is bad is sets up a dissonance that is very, very unhelpful, and that's putting it nicely. To say that the reason you're alive is a problem is not good. Not good. You are desire, and you are here to have desires. You are here to act on impulses and then develop even better impulses the next time. The purpose of life is not to have sentences running through your head all the time. In fact, it'd be better if we just didn't have sentences running through the head very much at all. Maybe 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, spread out over the entire day. That'd be nice. See you, mate. Bye. It'd be better if we were running in the intuitive, visionary state all the time, and we can be. If you can take that risk of acting on your desires without thinking about them too much, you will prove to yourself that it's the right way to go. Rather than being neurotic talking to yourself about whether or not your desire is good or bad, whether or not you should do this or that, you'll experience a life of automatic natural growth where consciousness, you can call it your subconscious if you want, or your superconsciousness, or the guides, the spiritual realm, all this sort of thing, it will back you up. It will take your experiences and formulate new things, new ideas, and it'll feed you those ideas based on whether you enjoyed the previous experiences. You've just got to not think so much. Right now, in this present moment, we are the leading edge of humanity. Why slow it down? Why slow down evolution by talking to yourself most of the time? By second guessing yourself most of the time? You know what you want. You can trust yourself. Go for it.